welcome to Gentleman Dog Portrait, episode 10. Finally using that second digit. I should probably make that the tagline of the show, but whatever. I'm gonna forget. Alright, I'm Dean.
I'm Mike.
And we're here to talk about stuff. Anything new going on in your life?
Anything new? No.
Nope.
It's gonna
Same
be,
here.
Gonna be Easter. It's gonna be springtime.
Finally. Oh, yeah. Well, now it's finally pleasant out. Awesome. I was like toying with the idea. Maybe we should do the show outside. And then I remembered, oh, right, it's incredibly windy out and no one will be able to hear us. Yeah. So
it's a lot of ambient noise outside.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could do we could do a vidcast.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to do that. I'm hideous. I'm hideous, and people will only look at you. So that's us. Our own. All right. So let's get to the stuff. Usually, I run articles by you, like the day before or 2 days before, and like you were impossible to get a hold of.
Yeah, I read your texts. I was there.
Yeah, you read the text, and I have no idea if you read the text, so that's great. This isn't like Kick or anything. We're like, oh yeah, I know he's read it.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, let's get to it. I picked this one because hey, you work with a taxi company, so this is kind of relevant to you. And hey, it's still topical because Justin Bieber was just roasted. What was that last Monday? Sunday? Yeah, he was on Comedy Central. Look, have you watched many of those roasts?
Yeah.
Have you watched a lot of roasts?
I haven't seen one in a while, but I've watched quite a few.
I always wondered how they get celebrities to like agree to be like to sit in the chair and then have comedians and other people just rip the shit out of them, like rip them a new one.
Yeah, they know. I don't know. It's like universally done. Like it doesn't matter who you are, you're gonna get roasted the same as the other person. So.
Like this, it's just like one concentrated night of everyone ripping on Justin Bieber. Whereas, like, any day of the year, he is the butt of so many jokes, no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, think about how different it would be if it was just, like, they just did that for him one time and then never roasted anyone else. There was, like, no such thing as a roast. They just did it. It's like
make fun of night.
Like, yeah, just make fun of Justin Bieber one night. And then that's like it never becomes a thing.
Hey, do you think we should roast this guy who's been an ass? What the fuck is roasting?
To me, it's just like it's so commercial now. Like I feel like it used to be like this person is somebody who's celebrated, who we love and respect and admire, and like have personal relationships with, and we're gonna like destroy him because that's what we do as comedians.
Yeah.
But like now it's like Justin Bieber. Like they have no connection to him. He's just like somebody famous that's gonna get some rating.
Well, wait, hold on. How many other who else have they roasted? I feel like they have roasted other people that were just kind of like asking for it.
Donald Trump, Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, exactly. Like those are people that like deserve to get ripped on.
Donald Trump definitely was good. They did. I don't know.
I had a friend.
Some comedians. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend. It was like his 21st birthday. 20th birthday. I whichever one it was. I was a freshman in college, and we all went out to dinner. And what he was like wanting was for us to roast him. I'm like, okay, dude.
First, that's not good.
You kind of do that to yourself already. First and foremost, and second, I just want to enjoy my dinner. I just want to enjoy my dinner. I don't want to like.
It's work to do a roast.
Yeah, you have to come up with like
you have
5
to be a
solid
comedy
minutes.
writer.
Yeah, you have to have 5 solid minutes, like 5 interrupted minutes, 5 uninterrupted minutes of just like straight up. This is why he deserves to be made fun of.
I mean, you could make it really. You could make it a few sentences, I guess, and like just go around with your friends. But even then, like you have to make a joke that's edgy and funny without like being like. I just told you suck, like, and that's how I really feel, or having it come off awkward.
Like, I don't think anyone said just the roast. I didn't watch it. I probably should have. I don't think anyone said at the roast, Justin Bieber, you deserve to fucking die. You are a blight on America, and you are corrupting an entire nation. Go kill yourself. No one would do like everyone's thinking that. Yeah. At least one person's thinking that.
At least one person.
But. No one will outright say that to him because that's not what a roast is. It's tactful. I don't know.
It's meant to. Well, It's like the background stuff that everybody's, I don't know. They just make fun. I guess it's easy. It must be easier to roast some people than others if they're more like caricatures, right?
Well, yeah. If they're easy targets, then yes.
But it's like your friend, so like I don't know. What do you say? And
and
then you'll probably. Chances are, if you go around the group, somebody's gonna be just bored. Like half the people are not gonna be funny, and then someone's gonna be awkward, and it's gonna be weird and. Just not a good idea.
They're just gonna tell like a personal anecdote that's like I'm sure it's a funny story, but like it's told just badly.
There was Mike the Situation did a roast.
Oh yes, I remember that.
He was like a presenter at the roast, and
he was the host, and he was just bad at it.
He had his turn to go up was like the jokes were written for him by writers, but like.
He just had very bad...
His delivery was, like, weird, and then people just started to boo him, and, like, Jeff, whatever, like, the other guy had to come up and, like, rescue him. Like, literally, like, he saw that it was going bad, and I heard that they cut, like, some of it out, because it was just too, like... intensely like awkward for TV.
I remember. I think at that point they're just like, okay, well, you're never allowed to do that again. It's like how Seth MacFarlane is like banned from hosting the Oscars.
Is he?
No, well, basically, like I don't think he's been like blacklisted or blackballed or anything, but it's like he did a musical number, which I mean, like with the right crowd, understanding the right amount of satire, it would be like a very poignant yet somewhat tasteless thing. But it was just entirely tasteless. It was a song, "We Saw Your Boobs." And it was just highlighting all of the actresses in the audience. It's like, you're here because some people thought your boobs were hot. Or you were able to... Your acting career springboarded because you showed your tits on camera. And I think that was like the entire message of the song. Yeah. And like some people thought it was like... terrible.
Well,
that's why Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are like hosting every award show after that, because they were the ones to do it after him, and they're like, we want more of you two.
Yeah, I don't know, the Oscars, I don't know.
But back to the story that I never actually like went to. Apparently, there is a legal lawsuit happening with Justin Bieber, in which he punched an Uber cab driver. Because he gave him a CD and told him to turn the volume up to the max, and the cab driver refused, and he just like climbed over and punched him.
Yeah, that's not good.
I mean, I can understand if there are like terrible cab drivers who like play like very very like caustic music. And they refuse. Excuse me. They refuse to either turn down the volume or turn on the air conditioning, or they're just assholes in general. Like we've all had at least one bad cab driver story.
I see a lot of cab drivers. I think a lot of them use headphones and don't want to deal with you and talk to you too much. But
yeah, but you're already like seen as a jackass of a celebrity, dude. Dude has apparently been like involved in a lot of shady shit. Apparently, he was drunk, and the guy smelled marijuana. And yeah, his lawyers are like, "Oh, there's no merit to this," but like, I don't think you would like make an accusation against a celebrity lightly. You know what I mean?
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, have you ever read those stories where like Bill Murray comes up to someone, like steals their food, and just like, no one will ever believe you?
Yeah.
He's like, well, Bill Murray stole my food, and it's like, all right, okay, dude.
Yeah, like
it's the same thing, but with Justin Bieber.
I guess, I don't know. Justin Bieber, he's just a person, man. He's just whatever. I don't know.
I'm not one of those people that like I can't. I don't hate the guy, but I certainly don't care anything about him. Like he is who he is. And some people are like, "Oh my god, don't even mention him around me." Or some people love him, and it's like I don't care.
He's just like, I don't know what I could tell you about Justin Bieber. He's
Though I will say this, there was a song I remember hearing in like a department store or something, and I'm like, I used Shazam, and I'm like, this is actually kind of catchy. And then I found out it was Justin Bieber, and I will not lie, the second I read Justin Bieber, I'm like, oh, I guess I shouldn't like this now. I guess this is a bad song.
Oh,
and like I don't remember which one it is now, but I'm like, that just kind of like stuck with me, like the fact that his name is so poisonous to anyone that I don't know. He's very polarizing with that. I've never met anyone that actually loves him.
He's just in his early 20s, and he's trying to, be this rebellious figure, who doesn't, bend to authority, and that's so hot.
What, a rebel without a cause? Should he have a hog now?
He's just, like, doing what he wants, because he's like, I'm Justin Bieber.
Should he have a leather jacket?
I can do whatever I want.
What is going on with my voice? I haven't screamed at all lately. Holy crap.
You sure about that?
No, I did at the concert that I went to, but that's
the Justin Bieber concert.
I was the only 23-year-old amid a sea of 12-year-olds. Yeah, I've never met anyone that like will admit they like the guy. I've just kind of like met with the same hive mind response of, ugh, get away from him. Yeah. But then again, I'm not going to go out of my way and evaluate his work. So
I feel like most pop artists look like their look and their like personality that is shown is so weird.
It's either you're a bad boy or you're like that sweet, tender soul.
Everybody is wearing like really weird stuff to peacock, like Pharrell,
doesn't matter who you are. I know you're wearing
hats,
weird stuff.
Like, I'm Pharrell. I'm gonna put this weird hat on. I'm so edgy.
I don't think Pharrell's hat is weird. I think it's just big.
Well, he puts on like he wears a different one at everything. His head is like Lady Gaga. Yeah.
His head is the embodiment of Lady Gaga.
Yeah, Lady Gaga.
Has she done anything lately?
No. Not really.
I'm really out of touch with the pop world. I'm just like, I know Lady Gaga's
been in the foreground recently, I don't think. But she's like the new Marilyn Manson. Like, Marilyn Manson used to be this one thing that everybody talked about, and then it became Lady Gaga. Like, they both have these like elaborate, from costumes and weird things that are provocative for the sake of being
I know
provocative.
The last thing that I saw about her was like, it was a GIF, whatever. Let's go with GIF. And it was like a performance art thing that she was doing during her concert. And like, I think it was either her or her backup dancer, like, purged green vomit on someone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a I remember reading the comments like, this is a performance art thing. And just like, they're throwing up on someone.
Yeah.
Let's back the fuck up here.
That's like back
performance
to her
art
roots.
only goes so far.
She was like a street performer like that, I think.
Well, then again, there's also
New York City going all around. Yeah,
I can't tell what's the apex. Either that or the girl putting SpaghettiOs up her vagina. I feel almost tempted to like link that when I post this video, but then again, I don't. You know what? I think I will.
Oh my god. There's a lot of performance art. Art is weird, man.
Art is very weird. Well, art. I think because it's been taken with that subjective umbrella of anything can be art. Then people are like pushing the boundaries of like what is art, and then you look at something like that with the SpaghettiOs, and it's like, this is stupid. But the stupid thing about it was like in a Forever 21 shop, and she had an audience of people just watching her. It was quiet. She was talking about like the corporations or something like that, and there she is with the SpaghettiOs, just kind of like putting it up there. Like making the hand motion as if I have like something to stick up my non-existent vagina, but there it is.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like there could be like
so
a college
much
thesis.
To say about this.
There could be a college thesis written about this.
Yeah.
I think you should check out the video when you see it later.
Yeah.
I think we should do that.
Sure. I mean, it's all about getting people to talk about you and publicize your message.
Yeah.
By doing something strange.
But does Justin Bieber have a message, or is he just kind of like there?
Well, he's not doing anything weird. Oh, well, he's being...
he's certainly not sticking SpaghettiOs anywhere. He's promoting
his... he's keeping himself in the news, which is smart and important. People are talking about him. on their podcasts, and
their smattering of
and
listeners.
so since he is being talked about still, he still matters.
Well, I know the last thing after the roast. I think this is like the last thing I have to say about the guy. He basically apologized for all of the crap that he's been doing, which, I mean, after hearing about that and then reading this article, I'm like, better not.
I mean, he's what is he, 21, 20, something?
Yeah, he's in his early 20s.
Early 20s, guy in his early 20s. He's a douchebag, you know.
Yeah,
it's like everybody I know.
A lot of people in their early 20s are douchebags, guys and girls.
It's just like, yeah. Like, oh, he got drunk and high and, like, was driving somewhere. Welcome to my town. Like, that's every 20-year-old kid here. I don't know. Yeah. You've punched a cab driver.
Yeah, but everyone does that. It's a rite of passage.
I think that probably what happened is he told the cab driver in an arrogant, in a rude way, like,
"This is my song, like, and I want it played up."
Like, just real snappy, like, "Yo, put this on, put it on," you know. And the guy was just like not into it, and
especially since it was an Uber driver. Like those people just kind of like elect for that.
The cab drivers where I work are also Uber drivers. Like, they're just like people looking to.
Oh yeah.
It's not that good of a deal, Uber, to drive for them.
Did you hear about that thing recently with the police officer?
No.
Like verbally like abusing an Uber driver. Yeah, there's like a short video. It quickly became viral. Police officer was basically like, he's now on modified duty, which is a very pleasant way of saying you're still on the force, but you basically have nothing. Like, we probably should have fired you.
They don't put him out in the field because they don't want him to have a misstep again where it'll be scrutinized.
I don't know. I feel there's a lot of hatred against cops now, and like some of it is deserved, but a lot of it's like, okay, well now there's a few bad apples. I think they're all bad apples now. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's really individual, case by case, and like maybe there's some trends, but you kind of can't. It's not fair to just assume that a cop is going to be horrible.
Yeah, I know a few police officers.
Or to
They're
treat
good people.
them badly because somebody else treated them.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to be like, oh, I know this police officer. That's why I was speeding.
It's like saying like this.
Like, you know that loyalty card thing.
Yeah, like this girl cheated on me. I'll never trust like any women again. Like,
yeah, that's a very poisonous attitude to take. But this guy like was just kind of like shouting at the driver, just like, "Where are you from? That's not where you." It was like bad. Like, holy crap! I don't think this guy did anything, and the police officer was having a bad day. He's like, "I should arrest you, but I have better things to do." Like, well, clearly you don't, because you could just arrest the guy.
It's very much like, yeah, like a lot of cops, a lot of people. See, it's not that a lot of cops are bad. A lot of people who enjoy being in power and like need to be in power find their way towards authority positions because that's what they really want. Like cops and
managers.
Yeah,
I'm sure we've all had like one bosses. Middle manager story that's like power mad.
Like, and he probably started off as a nice guy, but then like he got his job is like more stressful than your job because his boss is bigger than he is to you, but like you're under him, so he can like compensate by like turning the screws on you.
Oh yeah.
And he never meant to do that in the beginning, but he's been.
It's that classic story. It's that classic story of like the boss that's 2 levels ahead of you is screaming at your boss, and then your boss takes it out on you.
Yeah, like you know that if you're aware of it anyway, that it's just going to be hard for you now for no real reason.
For no discernible reason other than the fact that he's having a bad day.
Like it doesn't have to do with anything you're doing. You could be a great worker, and you're just like, oh, good. Now I'm going to be uncomfortable today and just not talk a lot.
I'm just going to sit here in silent.
I'm just going to make myself as unnoticeable as possible.
Shall we shift gears?
Sure.
So, an Italian grandmother basically poisoned herself and her kids.
Sounds like fun.
With expired cocoa.
Ah.
From 1990. Good year.
Wow. I wouldn't think that it would be that bad for you.
Well,
like, what is it? It's alkaloids or something? Or?
I have no idea what it is.
Why would it poison you?
It's like what is even in powdered cocoa?
Cocoa powder.
That's it? No, that can't be. Otherwise,
probably some kind of like declumping agent.
Maybe
preservatives.
Because I'm like tempted to think it's basically sugar and like maybe
There's no sugar in cocoa powder.
No, not just cocoa powder.
Oh,
seriously, it's
what
like
she was making?
hot cocoa. Yeah.
So maybe she was baking with it. It was hot cocoa for sure.
Yeah, it was hot cocoa, the liquid, the drinky thing.
Oh, cocoa powder.
Like Swiss Miss cocoa
I'm thinking
powder.
you're talking about cocoa powder, like
no,
straight cocoa powder.
No, she made
like,
she
I'm
made
making
like
brownies,
hot cocoa
I need,
for herself and her kids.
I need 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. No, okay.
And
so like Swiss Miss.
Like what would be in a Swiss Miss thing that would like
that would go
I
bad
guess
and
that
kill you?
could not keep for 25 years.
It seems like that would keep for a very long time because it's powder and it's there's no moisture in it for it to like grow anything.
Yeah, but I don't think they're vacuum sealed for one thing. And second thing, I think there's like dehydrated milk in there or something. That's what I'm tempted to think.
Still, I feel like powder should last a very long time. Like maybe it won't taste great later if you wait like 50 years, but
I'll strike this off of
I don't know,
strike this off of the doomsday supply list. We cannot have hot cocoa if we ever need to like live in a fallout shelter.
I was like away from home for some years, and I came back, and like there's still stuff here that was there in the fridge, like condiments, but like they're so old now.
Yeah, even like when you were a kid or a well-meaning teenager and you like donated food and they're like asking for non-perishable stuff. Even then, that stuff has like a shelf life of a couple of years.
Yeah, well they say, but I think in the right conditions you can keep it for a long time.
Well, yeah, but it's like having a wine cellar or something. It has to be at a certain temperature. It can't be exposed to this or this.
Still can. Still, I think they can last like a really long time.
I'm
like
sure they
20
could.
years, 50 years.
But like
probably 20 years.
Well, like now that we know that hot cocoa is off the table,
I have in my fridge chocolate syrup from 2003.
Ew.
Do you remember the Hulk movie that came out in 2003? It's Hulk hot chocolate. It's Hulk chocolate syrup. It's big. It's
Please
first of all,
it's green.
First of all,
Please
the syrup itself is green and makes it makes your milk green, and it doesning really taste like the same as like there's dye in it, so you can like taste it almost.
Well, it's like I think this is like the second time we're going to be mentioning this, but the ketchup. The different colored ketchup.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I think having either the green or the purple one, and I just remember this does not taste like ketchup.
It doesn't taste good, right? I never bought that stuff when they made like the purple ketchup.
I think I had it at a friend's house once. We never
right?
had it in my house. Yeah, it was like green and purple.
I
remember that specifically.
The green too. Yeah. This chocolate, you know how like Hershey's chocolate syrup, the bottle looks like the normal sized portion. This is like the one with the handle. It's like big. It's like the bigger, heavier duty.
Heavier duty.
Yeah.
Hey, dude.
It's the bulkier chocolate syrup, so it's lasted like so long, and I've been trying to kill it forever. So
well, that's like pure sugar, though.
But I looked at it and I was like, this has got to. I was like, when was this movie? 2006, 2003. I was like, whoa, it's over 10 years old. This chocolate syrup.
Well, like I know it's like how honey doesn't spoil because that's like basically sugar. You know what I mean? So maybe I think it's like how in the old days, like sugar basically was a preservative.
But sugar, it depends on the moisture content too. Like honey has a certain moisture content. Chocolate syrup probably does too, but I don't think it would get moldy. You know,
I
like
guess.
Certain stuff, if it's got too much, this is like a key thing here. If you like cheddar cheese, first of all, never buy shredded cheddar cheese. It's do you buy shredded cheddar?
I think we buy like cheese blends.
Okay, like
but then again, I don't even eat them. I just eat like sliced deli cheese.
I buy it sometimes, but yeah. But
like the Mexi blend or something.
There's this great video of Britney Spears' dad who's like a hick on YouTube.
Doesn't surprise me.
And he's making like her breakfast or something, and he calls it sprinkle cheese, and he's like sprinkle cheese. It's really funny. But that's just a total non sequitur sidebar. What you do is if you buy a block of cheese, what happens is it always goes moldy like halfway through. So what you need to do is remove it completely from the plastic and put it in a Ziploc bag, which you leave like half open all the time. with like a napkin or a paper towel in it or something.
And
that your cheese will last like 3 times as long. Because what it is you're taking the cheese out of the refrigerator, using some of it, and putting it back, and it's in that plastic, and the temperature change gets like condensation around the cheese, and then mold is like, okay, like I like that.
Oh.
So if you leave the cheese, like if you leave it not completely open to the air, but like in a paper towel, like in a bag that's like half closed.
I don't know. I like
it doesn't.
Cheese doesn't last that long in my house anyway.
Yeah.
The only thing that does is Swiss cheese, and that stuff tastes like plastic.
You don't like Swiss cheese?
I hate Swiss cheese.
It's got a nice taste.
Oh, what taste? It's plastic.
It's got you gotta get some.
It's
Alpine
like licking
lace,
a bowling ball. It's
Alpine
like eating
lace.
a Lego.
It's good. It's got a flavor. It's got flavor.
There is no flavor.
It's got a sharp little.
Nothing.
Flavorful flavor.
It's like if you can imagine eating the plastic covering on like one of those couches that people put.
It doesn't taste
that.
like
It
plastic.
does. It does. Like I will only begrudgingly. I think I've only begrudgingly ate Swiss cheese when it's been mixed in with other things.
Did you ever have it melted on food?
Yes, I have, and it was terrible.
Oh, ham and Swiss.
Ham and American all the way.
Oh my
Ham and
god.
American. Like nothing against the Swiss people, but your cheese is disgusting.
Ham and Swiss, a little pickle in there.
And I know it's like one of the most. It's a very popular cheese. So
yeah, I don't really care for Swiss. I mean, I like it, but like
making the argument here, it doesn't even care for it. You are a good devil's advocate. You're a good straight man.
I feel that it's good cheese. It's just not my cheese.
Are you still searching
I wouldn't
for your
vote for it
cheese?
for president.
Are you still searching for your cheese?
I like Gouda.
Gouda's good. Gouda is so good.
I like sharp cheddar.
There we go. I'm like skimming through the article here, and I'm like, I love how they're like justifying 1990 as if it's like a great year. It's like 1990 was the year the Italians delighted in hosting the World Cup until their defeat to Argentina, and Nelson Mandela was released from prison in South Africa. Okay, so let's save hot chocolate from that time and let's bust it open now.
1990 was the year I was in kindergarten, and now I'm like 30, so that's a long time ago. That's like 25-year-old stuff. That's pretty long to have food around. Like, what are you doing with your life that you still have hot chocolate milks from 25 years ago?
Well, I know
that you just cracked open now.
I'm sure there's definitely collectors like that do that kind of stuff,
yeah.
But that's such a minute thing. Just buy like a commemorative cup from that year or something.
But she probably just didn't even realize that it was old. I mean, we'll never know because she's dead, I guess.
No. They all like had diarrhea and shit.
Oh, so wait, they died from diarrhea?
No, they didn't die. It was like two kids and the elderly woman, and they just had
poisoned,
diarrhea.
I guess I made the jump to that they all died.
Who dies from food poisoning?
Oh, just food poisoning. I don't know. You said a mother See how it started was you said a mother poisoned her children and herself.
Okay,
and I was
all right. I'll take blame for that. But like, you're the one that made the leap. Like they're dead now.
Like it sounds like she committed like this mass suicide,
giving new
murder,
meaning
like,
to death by hot chocolate.
Yeah, I was like, wow. That's why I was like, I don't think it would be like kill you. Like,
no, it wouldn't.
Yes, okay.
Maybe if it was like a couple more years, then it would like.
How did this make the news that she got food poisoning? I guess because it's so old.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those weird stories. It was on The Guardian of all things.
I saw a man at Penn Station take a Dunkin' Donuts cup out of the trash and drink it. It was like a third full of like melted Frappuccino coffee, whatever Dunkaccino coffee makes.
I mean, I see people fishing out newspapers from.
He drank it through the straw. It was so
that's
gross.
Even worse.
Like you're in Penn Station. Like whose mouth was on that cup?
Everyone's.
Some weird person.
Everyone's. Ugh.
I
already know there's people that like fish out newspapers from trash cans. But that's kind of like a sanitary thing, I guess.
You haven't.
It's like if you don't care about the grime.
You reach a certain level when you don't have enough money for cigarettes, but you have a smoking habit, and you ground around and pick up cigarette butts off the ground and smoke each one for like an eighth of a second, or you collect them.
And you roll your own, yeah.
You collect like 8 to 20 cigarette butts, dissect them, and roll a cigarette from the endings and trimmings of all these people's
I
cigarettes.
feel like there's a story behind this. Is there a story behind this?
No, that's basically horrible, though, and people do it. So,
do you know anyone who's done it?
Yes.
Yes?
Not, they weren't really mentally healthy people.
Okay, well,
so
that goes without saying.
There's a dude that actually is outside the open mic where I play time to time, because it also happens to be across the street from a train station, so... So he's basically at the train station ranting to himself, which is sad. I mean, it was weird, and it's always weird to me in the winter. I don't understand.
Oh, I got a homeless person story. I got a crazy homeless person story.
Like I understand if you're homeless and you're either lazy or you just have a lot of unfortunate situations happen to you, and for whatever reason you found yourself stuck in that situation. Like, okay, like, but those types, even if you're lazy or like a scammer, like, you're going to figure out how to find shelter for the winter. You're gonna find shelters and stuff. But like, if you're mentally not together, like, I don't know, like, that I would find a shelter.
The world is your home.
If I was schizophrenic, like, what would you do? Like, you'd probably freeze. I don't know. It's just so mind-boggling.
Well, I don't think there's even like a survival of the fittest at that point, because people still give them money.
They have enough sense to do some stuff. If you're schizophrenic on the street, like, and you're just smell, and you clearly don't have a family.
Like, you're not thinking that's like unnormal. You're thinking that's like, this is natural. This is who I am.
A lot of your reality is
warped,
changed around.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's something up there. But
like, when I feel like I can't survive on the street if it's like blistering cold out, like, for like an hour, like, you know, like the wind just blows and you're like,
yeah, you finally get like that jolt and you're just like, I gotta get out of here. Like, I can't keep warm on my own. And you go somewhere else, like for shelter.
Yeah, like, you can't.
Like, they don't have that.
Like, it doesn't matter how much you put on, you're just gonna be cold. Like, you're gonna.
Yep.
What's your story here?
Oh, my story. Oh my god. This is one of those things, like, when I walked into work and told someone, I was like still like shaken. Like, this is one of those things that you're seeing, you hear about all the time, but you never actually like experience. And then when you're near it, you can't look away, and it is like horrifying. So I was going into work one day. I like hopped on the 3 train, and there was a guy. There was a homeless guy sleeping on one of the seats that are meant for just 2 people. I'm like, okay, that's not an uncommon thing. I just won't engage. I'll like stay far away from him. But the only place that I could get was on the other side of the train in that area, just like near the bench, I guess. Like, there's his bench, there's the pole, then there's the other bench, and I'm near the other bench. Mm-hmm. That's where it is. So there I was, like, avoiding him. He like stirs awake. He's got like an egg sandwich. He's got like
nice.
Look at him. He's got food.
I would like an egg sandwich.
He's got the bread. He's got the egg patty thing, whatever the.
Yeah.
You ever notice how it just kind of like looks like a patty? You know what I mean? Like a flimsy little thing.
I have think of like I have like a cylindrical tool, the size of that. You know, like, what would you say this size is?
That's kind of like if you bisect a softball, I guess.
Yeah, like the size of a grapefruit, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, softball. Like picture a metal ring that size that you just put down on your pan and crack your egg into it.
Okay, yeah. I've seen this.
And it makes your egg circular for a sandwich.
Well, this one's kind of like if you just kind of like cooked an egg and just kind of like folded it over.
Oh, yeah,
and made sort of like a squarish shape.
Yeah, a little bistro.
Like that. Okay, so there's that. There's the bread, the egg, some cheese, I guess. I didn't really look. I didn't pay too much attention. He's like, he does like the exaggerated like eating movements.
Yeah, like he's a raptor.
What?
Like he's a velociraptor.
Yeah. Well, like you and I, we would
like... His jaws just like extending out like aliens.
We would just kind of like normally pick up a sandwich and just kind of like bite into it.
Modestly, quietly eat it in public
like,
on a train.
He does like the exaggerated movies, just kind of like he's moving his head and his arms and his torso like with every bite. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of gross to watch. I don't normally like watching people eat. Well, under the right circumstances. But I don't normally like watching homeless people eat. I don't get any satisfaction out of that. He does something that thinking back on it, it's like making every organic part of me curdle. He blows his nose into his sandwich. He blows his fucking nose into his sandwich. He's just like, and he keeps eating. Yeah. He keeps eating.
I'm glad I heard this story.
It's like eating a fucking napkin, but out of bread. He cast the sandwich aside after a few more bites. Anyway,
I could totally believe this, and it's not something I've never thought of or heard of before. But it's definitely a human thing to do. This guy.
That's not the end of it. He's like, if I had a bingo card with things that homeless people done, I would have homeless people done or are. I would have gotten definitely a couple of rows already. I probably would have gotten a full card by the end of this. Except for the fact that he was talking. Now that I remember, he was mumbling to himself. So that's another mark. That's another free space. Mm-hmm. He puts his hand in his sweatpants, and I'm thinking, is he masturbating? He does a couple of jerky motions with it.
He's trying adjusting the.
I think if you stick your hand to masturbate, you get a little couple twitchy thing. He does giant jerks. And then I think it just maybe that's to distract from the fact that he's doing little tuggy movements, but he was definitely jerking it. Here I am trying to avoid looking at him. Period. I take glimpses every now and then, and that's what he's doing. And I'm physically feeling pain out of this. So I can't be here anymore. I get out of my stop. I bolt out of the train. I'm ready to push some people out of the way because there was this British-looking guy who I'm sure he knew what was going on, but he didn't move. He didn't try and move away from the guy, and I was ready to shove him down. I was get the fuck out of my way! I can't be near this guy. Ready to be that. I told some people that story. Just go, hey dude, how's it going? How's it going? I watched a man blow his nose into a sandwich and masturbate. Yes. That's how my morning's going. It's all uphill from here.
It could always be worse, man. I'll tell you that.
It was...
At least he wasn't directly addressing you and stuff.
No, he's just hey, white boy, here, give me $1. I'm still shaking after that. That is the quintessential homeless person story that I have. And I know the last episode of stuff we like. I went into a mini rant. Don't help these people, please. Don't do it. Don't give them food.
What I would say is don't directly try to intervene. Don't feel if you contribute something to a person on the street that you're helping them. Contribute to an organization that helps people get off the street. Maybe,
yeah, exactly.
Or something. But some people are just, they're not going to be
This has been a PSA by Gentleman Dog Portrait.
I don't know.
But I think what immediately set me off on the guy wasn't the fact that he had the grody sweatshirts and sweatpants. It wasn't the fact that he was sleeping on a subway train. It's the fact that he was balding. I don't think there's no. No. There's the clean balding, just kind of you have just hair on the sides. Yeah, there's okay, you have shaved your head bald.
So he had a weird pad.
He had almost a halo of hair. Yeah. He had the hair on the sides, and he also had it creeping up to the front, just the last of his hairline. Just holding the line right there, and then just bald. So it was bald, halo of hair, still bald.
I guess if you're homeless, you don't if he had himself together, he would probably have that hair cropped down and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Or just So that immediately just set me off on the guy. If he didn't have that kind of hairstyle, or if he just kept his hood up, I wouldn't have noticed. But just seeing that, just wow, okay, this is kind of making me uncomfortable already.
I come home on Friday. I come home in the morning when people are usually going to work, but I also come home on the weekend when nobody's really doing anything early in the morning on the train. So usually what happens is you can tell if a train is full.
Hold on, I just want to make I have nothing against balding people. It's just this particular guy already looked gross as it is. And I think people that are aware that they're balding, they make it work. They can try and make it work. This guy was at the point where he didn't want to. I want to make that clear. I don't hate balding people. I'm gonna be bald one day too.
I've seen some people who kind of could care less, but what they do is they just wear a hat all the time.
Yeah, there's
like,
that
they don't
too.
want to like
options.
mess with it constantly or have it. Maybe they're self-conscious.
I'm not going to draw the parallel that balding people are. They blow their nose into sandwiches.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give off the impression that you make people uncomfortable. You're probably all lovely people. All right. So continue with your thing. You're at a
anyway, if you see a subway car and it's empty, and other subway cars are pretty full,
that's a red flag.
Don't go to that car.
Immediately, that's a red
because
flag.
Everybody
it probably
else
smells, or there's someone sleeping there.
It's just like space is a commodity, so it's not just like everybody just decided to leave this one car. There's a reason. So, but in the morning on Saturday morning at like 8 a.m. on the subway, like not a lot of people are on the subway at 8 a.m. on Saturday. Like it's New York City, so there's gonna be people, but it's not the same, and all the cars are almost empty, and so I don't have that kind of indicator. And I walked onto this car, and it was horrible. And then you become aware that there's two homeless guys on the car, and one's on one end and one's on the other end of the car. And one of them I think was just whatever, a homeless guy, but the other guy did not smell good. It smelled like he pissed his pants.
That like smell hits you the second you hit the second you went to the subway car, because it's permeated. He's been there so long. The smell of his urine has permeated the entire car.
It smelled like he pissed his pants like last week and like was just in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like that vinegar, like acrid. Like your nose was like like almost burning. Like it was so intense. But when you walked away from him, it was just like that like piss smell you get in the street in New York City. But it still, like, you had to deal with that for like 15-minute subway ride, 20 minutes. You're just
you actually dealt with it? You didn't even move to another car?
I moved, but it was a little entertaining because other people got on the car.
Oh, and you had to see them just kind of
like I stayed on for a couple stops at first, and then when there was a chance, I moved to the next car. But yeah, this woman's face, she got and the dude was like out. He was like asleep kind of, or just closing his eyes. So, but what the hell, man? I don't know.
Like, it almost kind of reminds me. Have you ever entered a subway car? Once, like, have you ever entered a subway car at the end of a station? Like at the end of a line, there's like a station where they're just kind of like holding the train.
Yeah, I do that on the G. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. I do that sometimes on the E. I don't know. It used to happen a lot more when I was in college.
So they're just waiting for the train to leave.
Yeah, it was like especially at World Trade Center.
Usually a subway will pull into the station, open its doors for like 10 seconds, close them again, and leave again. So like this is just a train sitting there with the doors open like for 10 minutes.
Yeah, so it's like it's always hit or miss with that because you sometimes get people sleeping on them, but then you sometimes get genuinely abandoned cars, and it's like I don't know what to go into.
It's a little scary to be on a subway car alone.
I'm imagining
like one person could get onto it with you and be totally like
it'll be like really weird because like you see some people sitting there just like how long have they been sitting there? Are they sleeping there? No, they're not sleeping there. They're just normal. But I'm imagining like
normal people sleep on this.
There's going to be one time when I'll get into a subway car and I'm imagining there's going to be a homeless guy sleeping there, and once I walk in, he'll like stir awake. He'll be like, "What are you doing in my car?" The doors will close, and then like boss battle music will start playing. I want that to happen, but I never want to be in that position. Da 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 da. And there'll be like a power meter somewhere. Like I'll be wearing like Google Glass or something. It's just like, "Oh, you're fighting a homeless man." I don't want to fight a homeless man. Well, you're homeless, man. That should be like a rejected Mega Man boss villain.
The people on
Guts Man, Cut Man, Homeless Man.
The people on my subway cars are not as interesting because it's Queens line, so they're all coming from Queens or going to Queens. But they could be going to Manhattan or coming from Manhattan, but it's not as cool.
Yeah. Well, I actually had to take the subway from Manhattan to Queens, and I remember how much I did not miss those long breaks in between stations where it's like you're on the train for like a solid 10 minutes and there's no stopping. Because that's when you know you have a captive audience, and that's when people will come in and like start doing those breakdancing shows and like panhandling.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, for Christ's
people
sakes.
do come on the train and play mariachi. Like, they'll sing and play guitar in Spanish.
Yeah.
For like 2 stops or something, and then they'll get
I've
off.
actually had a mariachi band come in. Yeah.
I feel like they know that if they stay for the whole trip, that like people will punch them. I don't know. They did, cause it's very intrusive. Like. It's rude because I'm trying to get somewhere and I have to be here, and like you came in and you're forcing me to like
listen to you. Yeah, it's the rudest thing, and that's why there's no one likes them.
Like
there's already like a public opinion.
I feel like
no
it's great if you want to go to a subway station and perform. I think those people are great. Do that. If I hate you, whatever. I'm gonna be here for 2 seconds, and then my train's gonna come, or I'll be here for like 5 minutes listening to you, but I can walk away or whatever. And the train, it's like you're much closer. There's much less personal space. If you don't like it, you're screwed.
Yeah, the second you see someone come in with an instrument, or they're coming in with a sign and a baby, or they're coming in with a boombox, that's when you know you should move to the next car.
Recently, I've seen people sell fruit snacks.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen people sell candy bars. And it's like, it's like that hustle kind of thing where you sell the candy bars and it's for such and such organization, but it's really for you, and it's just like the same. You make the same money that like 7-Eleven would make on a candy bar or something. You know what I mean? You went to Costco and bought a bunch of them, and
that actually reminds me.
It's not a bad thing though.
There was actually a man who was collecting for veterans.
Mm-hmm.
He actually like went out and said like this is for veterans who came back. This is for Project No Man Left Behind.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually gotten so jaded that I actually looked up on my phone. There was like mediocre service during that time. And I like looked on Google like Project No Man Left Behind. And there was nothing. There's nothing. I was actually in a real position of power where I could have been like, hey guys, he's lying. I'm looking on Google. There's no such thing. I do not want to engage these people. I really don't.
Yeah.
But I certainly want to like hamper their circuit and just be like, dude, don't give him money.
I don't mind the guys that come on and just say like, hey, I'm just trying to make an honest buck here. I have stuff for sale. If you'd like it, you can buy it. And it's like, all right, well, I know what the price is. I know what you're giving me. It's not like I'm buying a gold watch from you. It's a candy bar. Like,
yeah.
The worst thing that comes to worst, like it's what did you give me, a rock wrapped in a candy bar wrapper? Like you know what I mean? Like
maybe
what are you really gonna do? Put the effort into like
hustle you like that?
Get an extra 50 cents out of the $1 I gave you?
Oh, this Starburst wrapper looks suspiciously. Oh no, it's pebbles inside. Oh crap. Looks like you got me, kid.
It's funny though because like it's an interesting little like.
If that ever happened to me, I would start carrying like a slingshot onto the subway.
Can you imagine if there were
just snipe that kid whenever I see him again?
Like cooks on the train that like cooked food for you, like they, you know how like a one-man band looks, like a guy with all this stuff strapped to him. What if it was like a guy with like
just have
fryer?
Like a couple of portable ranges, just kind of like, all right, like, I'm sauteing a fish right now. Who wants one?
Like he has a backpack of like hot French fries and peanuts and things.
Oh, that would be great.
And he could just like be like, here, he'd swing his bag around and like scoop fries for you and give you like hot fries.
Oh, that would be funny. Just like have one of those sports vendors. It's kind of like, get your popcorn. Yeah. Get your popcorn. You
can definitely do that on the train.
Do that.
Cotton candy, popcorn. That's really big stuff though that you would have to re-up on like real quick. You'd get rid of 6 and then you'd be out. You'd have to get.
You probably have to have a couple of like refill stations.
Yeah. Or but bags of peanuts and I don't know. I'm sure it's totally illegal. I'm sure while you're out,
Well, like there's no way to regulate it. That's the thing. I think that's why it's illegal to do, because you're literally just sitting up a stand, like. You probably could have it. You're probably selling asbestos.
They could regulate it if they wanted to. They could give you some kind of permit or patch you have to wear, or some kind of.
But it's all
standardized
thing. Like if you have a food truck, you're like licensed to be in that like one area. You know what I mean?
You could go wherever you want.
Oh well.
As long as in public parking and anywhere you can park legally.
Everything you can park, but you can't park in the subway.
There's some places though that are designated for.
You can't say I'm the one doing this on the E train.
Yeah, you can't really claim territory. I mean, I've never seen two people fight over a train. I think it's probably not good. Like, you probably don't want to go where someone just was anyway. So.
Yeah, I think I've had two people like beg, like one after the other. But I don't think they were like, okay, well, I guess you're handling this train. Like, if I ever see that happening, I think it's because one of them has, like, more humility, and they're just like, okay, I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to let you have it. I've been having a good day so far. You can go ahead.
You probably just want to get away from them and go somewhere. I don't know, yeah. You probably want to make money. You don't want to have a fight. You don't want to waste time.
Yeah, and if you have a fight, you might lose money. That's what Pokemon taught me.
And, like, yeah, and plus it's illegal, so you don't want to start causing trouble.
Yeah.
Attracting the wrong attention. You could probably sell beer on the train. That'd be weird. It seems like super illegal somehow.
No, that would be super duper illegal.
Just sell beer, because you can probably get in trouble, because it's like selling beer anywhere would get you in a lot of trouble in the first place without the right kind of things. And
well, because I think a liquor license has to be like an established thing. You know what I mean?
Liquor licenses, you pay the city a lot of money, and you also have, it's like it can be taken. It's like a thing to threaten you with. Like, we can take this away from you if you mess up. So don't serve kids.
Huh? I did not know that. Well, I've always like thought about.
It's just money, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always thought about like going in for bartending or something. But then again, I already have a career, so.
Yeah, I dated a girl that taught at a bartending school in the city, and it's a special school where if you come from overseas, so like everybody speaks French and like Russian and German, and like they wanna, but this is like they come to New York to learn how to bartend, to go back to their country and bartend.
Huh.
So it's like a weird, like, it's like semi, like it's like they're Europe. It's like if you went abroad in college.
It's like Oxford.
It's like, yeah, you're kind of like here for your career, but you're also here to like see New York City and be a tourist and have a good time.
Okay, all right, yeah.
But like they pay a lot of money for this school or something.
So like Oxford.
But she said the one weird thing was everything was in milliliters or whatever. All the shot measurements are not in ounces. So
that's weird. I mean, like, I can understand that. I really can. You know what? I do understand that. Ha ha. I will never convert to metric.
No.
I should, but there's no reason for it. They're just like there's no reason for me to speak any language other than English. Mm-hmm. It's like we're in a country where like that's conditioned. You know what I mean?
I guess so.
If I went abroad, they would be accommodating to me.
Yeah.
But if they come here, like we don't have to be accommodating to them. I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's why we're in a decline.
I mean, it's not like in any other country. Like, it's not like you're like, oh, well, like if you're in France, it's not like you would say, oh, I only speak French. Like, I don't. Or if you're like the guys I work with, they all speak like a few languages and they don't think anything of it.
Yeah.
But it's like weird here, I guess. I don't know. Spanish certainly comes in helpful.
It does sometimes.
Comes in use.
I remember there was this woman on the train, doing Duolingo, and I wanted to be a helpful guy, just kind of like, oh, buenos dias, señora.
Yeah.
Just wanted to like converse with her, because like when you learn a language on Duolingo, you're just learning phrases. Yeah. You're not really learning conversation. So I wanted to be like that helpful guy, just like, I'm going to help you practice your Spanish. Why are you learning, and where are you going? And I like thought I like thought that loudly for a couple of stations, and then like we ended up leaving. I'm like, shit. I am a fucking pansy.
Gotta act, man.
Well, because I also have like enough self-awareness to be like, I don't want to talk on a train.
Yeah.
I don't want to draw attention to myself.
Yeah.
Some people don't care, and some people are shameless about that. But like, I want to make everyone's commute a little better.
I'm very like, I don't know. I'm chill. I'm fine with it. Like, I won't just. I feel like if someone like people will ask me for directions, but also, like, there was this one time I was on a train and these okay, check this out. There's a guy next to me and a girl next to me, and they're talking it up, and then there's some people across from us, and the train is also full, but a stop happens, and the girl gets off and leaves, and the people, and so I assume like they knew each other from life, and that the people just all around us didn't know him. And apparently the people across from him were like his friends, and that girl just like hit on him on the train, and they started talking, and I just started talking to them like, what?
Wait, what? Oh yeah, I sometimes join in conversation like that too, but it's like, what?
Oh, wait, you follow what I said?
Yeah, I did. Just,
oh yeah, they were like, wow, she was totally into you, man. He's like, yeah, she was like, oh, we're in the city for this, like, are you doing anything any other like she basically asked him out on the train, and he was just like, oh, he gave her his number.
That's ballsy. I like that. That's ballsy.
But he wasn't into it. Yeah. They were like, what's up with you? Everywhere we go, man. He was funny.
I don't know. That's just me trying to be polite, because I know if I had my druthers, I would make everyone shut up on the subway. Well, because I'm in like it's a high density thing, and then there's every time I'm coming back, there's always like a group of kids that come on, and they're always like, yeah, like a couple decibels above everyone else, and I'm like,
it's stressful to be in a population dense area. Deer, they did studies. Deer, depending on where they lived, had different population densities, because like it would be like an island or something. Mm-hmm. And so they actually live shorter lives just from being closer to each other.
Wow. Really?
Their lives are significantly shorter. Yeah, in the city, it doesn't really correlate, because you also end up being a lot more active than you would think.
Well, that makes sense.
Because everything's close enough for you to walk and take a train.
So it's like so
you walk.
It's a more compact life.
Like if you live in the suburbs or the country, you're probably going to end up having to drive to wherever you need to go. Mm. So you're just sitting at home. You're sitting in your car.
Yeah, it's a life mostly of waiting.
Where you're getting to. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
But in the city, it's like very like you walked like X more miles a day than somebody in the country.
All right, no, I can understand that.
So your cardiovascular is better, and you end up not getting heart disease.
All right,
you're stressed out, and there's more pollution.
So, to alleviate this stressed out thing, you want to talk about a subreddit?
Sure.
Time for subreddit discovery.
I'm gonna talk about one, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I have one that I can talk about, but if you want something, yeah, go ahead. Something that you think people should check out.
Okay, I'll do one, I guess. There's one called Buy It for Life. I don't know if you should check it out.
you were talking to me about this one. Yeah.
How this works is it's there are certain items in your life, like a frying pan, that can be passed down from generation to generation, or maybe you have a really quality set of knives or hiking boots, or like just something that was designed to last. And like, certain times in history, like in the 80s or something, you could have or like certain old sewing machines are like really good because they're going to last forever. They're never going to wear out. And like a sewing machine you buy today might totally suck and be made like mostly of plastic parts that aren't replaceable, and it will just like, it's planned obsolescence. They'd rather make a light bulb that lasts a shorter amount of time so that you have to buy another one sooner. It's cheaper. They'd rather make a cheaper, shorter lasting light bulb because it's more economical for them to just keep churning them out than it is for them to stop and make a light bulb that's going to last 20 years, which they could do or whatever.
I'm looking at the subreddit now, and there's the top post of all time is one of a set of dishes, Corel kitchenware.
Yeah, Corel's really good.
Yeah, like here's a picture of this one.
Yeah, I have some.
Yeah, here's that picture, and apparently this one lasted him throughout all of his life. He grew up with them, and they are like, they're so good. They're like pristine.
The designs on the dishes in your house are like such a personal thing that you see every day. I don't know, but anyway, it's hard because people go to this subreddit and they're like, they ask for like stuff that shouldn't be Buy It for Life. Like if you're gonna be wearing like I don't know, a lot of clothing, I feel like is gonna wear out. Like shoes, like you're not gonna wear shoes your whole life that aren't gonna, but people seek that stuff, I guess. That's a bad example because you can resole shoes and everything, but
This man owned and drove the same car for 82 years.
Yeah.
Look at that. And it's like one of those old jalopies. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
So is this like a place that so is this like a subreddit where they suggest you buy these things, or is this just kind of like these are examples of like
it's more suggestions for your own purchases. Like people will ask for advice, like I'm looking for buy it for life knives, or I'm looking for a buy it for life set of cookware, like, and people will recommend things that they feel is quality, and it's going to be stuff that you're going to probably, it's going to not be the cheapest stuff. It's going to be a little more high end. And, you know, there's a little more quality put into it. It's not mass produced, maybe. It's maybe handmade, but it's going to last. Like,
yeah, this one, I'm looking at like a...
that's the stress. It's going to last, yeah.
I'm looking at a meat slicer right now, and apparently this is like, oh.
Yeah, people will find weird things. Like, someone will be like, oh, I paid out like $80. I had to get this buy it for life flask. Like, and it's like... people were like, yeah, like, I hate to break it to you, but this part on this, like, thing is gonna snap off. This is gonna... What, they're like, you're better off with a glass flask, like, wrapped in leather or something. It'll...
Yeah. And then I'm
glass
seeing
lasts forever.
And then
like,
I'm seeing the
unless you break it.
pictures of things just like, oh, these things that you said are never going to break. Oh, yeah, they broke. Like, unbreakable combs, Doc Martens.
Yeah.
There's a...
yeah, people are always the back
an Nalgene bottle on this one.
Criticizing and trying to figure out what they're, you know.
Well, it's an interesting concept because, yeah, like what you said with the light bulbs, there are a lot of things that we buy and we expect to replace in a matter of time. Laptops aren't forever. Yeah, like, game systems aren't forever. Shirts and shoes and pants aren't forever.
And it's been there. There's great websites that show you things that so like, okay, like a laptop's a more modern invention, so it hasn't been around very long. And the way technology upgrades quicker, it's like you'll want a new one, but there are things that, so there's no example of that in like the 1800s or the 1900s or something. Mm-hmm. But you know, in like 1910 there was no laptop to like, but there are other things that were around then that are around now,
like silverware, and
they show how like over years the companies have planned and marketed differently, and design, and the quality has fallen off a lot because people would rather get it now and get it again later. And like, so they show like items that they used to last this long and now they last like such a short time, and they're not well made, and like,
you know, I think I'm going to give this like a real good look around. I think I'm going to sub to this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right. Successful subreddit discovery. You got someone to sub to it.
Check it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Especially if you're gonna like
go home and pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, like start a new life in a new house or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm a lot of this stuff looks like niche stuff. So maybe I'll find something that I'll want to take with me and like pass it down and have that passed down, and
like
all that.
Multi-tools. There's a lot of things that like people are like, this is the quality one you should get. This one is trash.
Hey, there might be something. There might be something in my grandfather's old house.
Product reviews.
Yeah, my aunt is such a hoarder, so maybe nothing was thrown out.
There'll also be. There's always like artifact posts like, this is my grandfather's overcoat, my great grandfather's overcoat from World War I. It's so durable and awesome. But it's not like you can go buy one somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
All right, well, you know what? This was a good episode. Let's end it on this note.
All right.
Let's end it on this note.
See you later, guys.
All right, see y'all next week.